Peace, folks. Maurice here with Friends of the Congo. We have our brother, by the grace, Kili Mali, who's able to join us today. Kili Mali, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Happy to join you again here.
yes. I don't know, Kili Mali, if the last time we spoke, if we've spoken, have we spoken since the capture in the city of Goma? Have you been on with us?
No, not yet. Not before.
Right, 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 right.
The last
I don't
time
know how. What's
because
that? I don't know. How much if you feel comfortable sharing, that journey, because last time we talked, you were in Goma and you were reporting before the capture of the city, and you've been on a journey since then, to say the least. So if you feel comfortable sharing about that, let me know. If you like to share, just feel free to give people an update. They're used to seeing you on and reporting from the front lines in Goma, and not just Goma, but in the Kivus, and yeah. So, and you're not able to do that anymore, and none of your colleagues, reporters, are able to do that anymore. So maybe you can share a little bit about that as we get started today.
so, it's I don't know where to begin because
If
it's
you feel
really
comfortable,
sad.
only if you feel comfortable. I know we're still
Um,
not everybody's in the clear, but so you don't have to.
uh, like like it's a crazy journey. And yes, I'm feel comfortable to say that as a journalist and as a reporter from the ground, from the front line, I was at the ground on Sunday. I was in Mugunga at that time, and I came back in the evening. And finally, that day, in the evening, the M23 began to take the city, and like we spent like uh, 3 days of war, a real war, not. Uh,
Hmm.
I never seen something crazy like bomb because we are in the war, and me as a journalist, I'm covering the war in this area, and uh, it's for me is something very very important, and I know how it's difficult, but to have a war in the town,
Hmm.
it was crazy. It was terrible. It was terrible. And finally, I am when the so finished on Wednesday, the situation began to be calm. I tried to go outside, and finally I analyzed that I cannot be safe in the town. I will not put actors and reason for the security reason. But from that time, I was looking for a way to go out um, of the city, and I spent like uh, like I use roads which are not practicable, which are
Hmm.
really roads which are there is a lot of kidnapping in those roads, and it was really dangerous. It can't be, but it was the only way to save myself, and finally I went to Bukavu before the M23 takes the city. And from Bukavu, I went to the to Via, and Via I went to Bujumbura, and finally from Bujumbura to here, and it were really really complicated, really complicated. I like also because as I have this opportunity, I like also to say thank you to people who are supporting the activities you are doing, because it's one of the help which helped me a lot to be safe and to be in another zone, and to still covering as much as
Mm,
as I can. Thank you so much to learners and all the team of the Friend of the Congo for the duty. I think as I as I told you, it's very complicated to know everything, but sometimes the government of Kinshasa cut the internet, shut down the internet in Goma, and
mhm,
I have to receive calls from colleagues here in Kinshasa, from colleagues which are member of friend of the Congo, to say hi, how are you doing, and how things going on, and big thank you also for all of the staff of the friend of the Congo and partners organization, because me, I know what the what is what the friend of the Congo is doing.
did we lose you?
I traveled the country and I know the environment, and that's why I participated somehow, but I didn't want. Uh, I participated like volunteering, but when I need a help in a dangerous area, and
Mhm,
I receive the help needed, this is something very very important, and people who are not living in a war zone can't know, but it's very important, and it's very useful when uh, you have some assistant directly with contact, with some with number, with staff,
mm.
with money, is very very important, and I can't say thank you. I
Well,
can't.
it's not.
I can't.
Yeah, no, no, you don't have to thank us or anything. I mean, you had Reporters Without Borders, right? Is that
Yes.
Committee to Protect Journalists, right? They all came to your support uh, when you were trapped, in a war zone with a tremendous amount of
Yes,
uncertainty.
exactly.
So a host of institutions that came to your support. So we're just super happy to have you be able to continue to be reporting, be with us. Those recordings that you sent with all of the gunfire, bullets coming through your door. I mean, I can't even relate, on any conceivable level, what that must have felt like, for you, just the uncertainty, because you don't know if soldiers are going to come in and break down your door and, you know, and snatch you. So, but in any case, thanks for sharing that. And it's good that you're back with us. For folks who are not only tune into um, when we do our lives, but listen to some of the radio stations and media that we're connected to, Friends of the Congo. They've been used to hearing your voice, and they haven't heard you for a while. But really glad that you're safe, first and foremost, and it's a blessing that you're able to continue to, you know, to do your work, as a journalist, which any journalist uh, in the occupied territory of Eastern Congo, are they're not they're not able to do their work. You're out, you're able to do the work. So, speaking of the work, Akili Mali, there's just so much going on. Maybe you can give us a view, from Kinshasa. I can share with you what's been. There's so many Congolese politicians and high level officials in Washington. You would think the administrative capital of the Congo is Washington D.C. uh, I mean, I can't tell you that. Folks don't really understand. I guess you have to live in Washington. There's so much that happens in Washington that affects the rest of the world, and when Congolese politicians and high level officials want things to happen in Kinshasa or in the region, they come to Washington. You know what I'm saying? They come to Washington. This is, they're not gonna be going and trying to mobilize folks in Lubumbashi or Kisangani. They're not in the Kasai's, and Bujimai. No, they're not trying to mobilize the people to to rally folks to get what they want done politically. They come to Washington, and some of them even have lobby firms in Washington. The politicians have lobby firms. Ministry of Communications have a lobby firm, hire lobby firms. The state mining company, Jacomine, hire lobby. I mean, they spend a lot of money in Washington. Lobbyists in Washington live good off the Congo, right? And Congo is not the only country. There, just African countries. That's just the nature of the world. And when you have an empire and you have weak states, and the empire can make decisions that can determine whether you are in power or out of power, you come to Washington. So, anyways, the Congolese politicians and even faith leaders from the Congo are in Washington this week. So, what's happening in Kinshasa? We see that there's a special envoy from Washington going to Kinshasa. So, what's the view from the ground, and how are people seeing the advances of the Rwandan back M23 and the response of the Tshisekedi government, the attempt to form a national union, so to speak? Give us a sense of what's rumbling in Kinshasa.
So it many things, many things are at the same time. But uh, first of all, about the response about what is going on in the east of DRC. People here in Kinshasa are really uh, not sure that the president Sekedi with his government will really solve the problem, because uh, we have we have now 2 months, and
Mhm.
the town of Goma is still captured by the Rwanda Army with the M23. And until now, the government didn't be able, the town, because after that, the M23 took also the town of Bukavu. Um, and right now, the situation is very, very complex and very complicated. You have also the operations, the negotiation, which should uh, could began in Luanda, in Angola, but didn't finally happen because the M23 didn't participate, and they began another one by we don't know what, if a negotiation or something else,
Mhm.
in Doha, in Qatar, and where the President Tshisekedi and the President Kagame meet together in Qatar, and it were really crazy. It were really
Hmm.
crazy, and people here were really surprised. And there are people. which was said that there is there is because here population is speaking in Lingala, and there is a sentence. I will speak it in Lingala.
Mhm.
Uh, Dakar Qatar Ekomalola. That means Qatar is now the heaven because the president Tshisekedi has said that he could meet with Kagame only in the heaven. So
Oh, and only right, right. He Tshisekedi is known for making declarations, right? That's why they call him Mister Escarmouche, right? Not one more inch. If Rwanda takes one more inch, we're gonna make regime change in Kigali, right? So
yes, exactly.
famously said that the only time we'll meet with him is in heaven, right?
Yes, and some people were saying, we didn't know that even it's so far, it's so near from us. People are praying and are going to the church, but you can go in Qatar, and there are also with artificial intelligence. There are some photo with him, the emir of Qatar, and and they put them in a kind of heaven, a kind of heaven. They're using artificial intelligence to put them, and they say, ah, so the emir of Qatar is an angel. Where is God around? It's like it's where in everyone. Like it's in everyone mind, and also at the same time you have also the former president Joseph Kabila, who spoke to
Mm.
in South Africa to media, and he broke his traditional silence. He broke, and we said what is going, and we said what is going on, and he said also he thinks he said also he thinks, and people were saying, so this is really crazy. How can the president and the former president react like this to this problem? It it's really pity for the country to see how leaders can't give a solution to problem, and they are only thinking on their political interests
Mm.
in the time where the country is in danger. Like people like us are are forced to fly their house, their town, and their activities. Uh, and people in Goma are still terrorized, and
Mm.
politicians here in Kinshasa are still thinking on other things. And when we are saying about politicians, one of the solutions for the president to make the country to be united, to be together, the president said he will build a new government, which
Mm.
it will be a government of the majority at the power and the opposition. And finally, the opposition didn't participate until now to those activities, to those activities of the consultation, which are doing by uh, Ebeande,
Mhm.
Ebeande, who is the council, is one of the member staff of the presidency and one of the nearest person to President Tshisekedi. Right now, they put the situation. The situation is it's still the same because actors which are still coming every day, it's politician and politician from the majority. there is no civilian society actors
Mhm.
and opposition until now, which respond to the invitation of the President Tshisekedi, because so many people are saying that the situation right now is not the solution right now. It's not to create a new government
Mhm.
of a large coalition. Right now the solution is to take the part of the country which is under control of the
One.
Rwanda army back to the M23. And so so actors really didn't participate until now. And it seems like the situation it still be the same to those to that area and the new government. We don't know which will be really what will be really the solution, but
Mhm.
it seems like uh, they haven't a solution to what they are saying.
Yeah, it's interesting, Akilimali, you mentioned Joseph Kabila, the former president, breaking his silence. He's renowned for staying silent, not saying much. And what is interesting to me is that in the political landscape, right, you have Joseph Kabila, the former president, right? You have the current president, Felix Tshisekedi, and then you have the titular head, the civilian head of the coalition, Congo River Alliance and M23, Kone Nanga.
Kulenanga,
These, these, these three individuals, right, dominating the at least the media space, right, and they're the three individuals that apparently came together to work out a deal so that Chesekedi could become president in the first place in 2018, right? At least that's what
exactly.
Kone Nanga says. Uh, with 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 these three individuals being in the public sphere again, what are people in Kinshasa? Are they going back to that deal? Do they see this? What they see? Do they tie what's happening today to that deal that took place where Tshisekedi was named the president, and even though he wasn't the actual winner in 2018, to what extent is that being in the discourse in Kinshasa? When it seems like these three individuals, right? One can argue are part of the problem that has Congo in the fix that it's in today because they fixed they fixed the results from 2018.
Yes, the problem is exactly that is on that political angle is that all of them were were in the same deal. In the same deal,
Mm.
it means Kone Nanga, who is now the coordinator of the River Congo Alliance, which is the M23, um, was the president of the Electoral Commission
Yeah,
in Congo,
he's
and
a president of the electoral commission that's turned into a rebel leader, right? And he says he's going, he's becoming a rebel leader so that he can undo what he did in 2018, which was he named Chesekedi as president. So now he wants to remove Chesekedi. It's like it seems like a horrible horror flick, horror movie. So continue, Akili Mali. Sorry for interrupting. I don't know if you still have connection. Can hear me?
I don't know if you can still hear me.
Yes.
I didn't understand.
Oh no, just continue with
Uh,
what you were saying about Kornei Nanga. Kito, can he hear me? Can Akilima? Can you hear me, Kito? Can you hear me, Akilimali? Continue. Go ahead, Akilimali. Oh, so looks like we lost Akilimali. His connection may not obviously it's not that good. But we were Kilimali was sharing with us. It's a different players, or and I shouldn't say different players, really the same players that were are in the media landscape in the Congo. You have former President Joseph Kabila, who has launched a social media platform or account on X. He's been given interviews, visiting different. He's been given interviews to different media outlets about the current situation. And Akili Mali, are you hearing us? Okay.
Yes, yes, now I can hear you. Sorry, I
Okay.
couldn't hear you. So
Your connection may have
it
been
was
going back, but go ahead and continue what you were saying about the Konai and Nanga and the Congo River Alliance.
yes, he's one of the person. He is the person who go to the television, to the national television, to say that the President Tshisekedi were elected as the new president of the DRC. At the same time, where Congolese people were waiting for the election of someone else, which is Martin Fayulu, and he was very popular. He was very elected, and so people began to everyone was surprised to see how how Tshisekedi because how Tshisekedi became a president, and finally they will say that it was a deal. Um, that it was a deal between those actors. This is the point of Kolinanga, because if we have now Tshisekedi as the president of the DRC, because he proclaimed he proclaimed Tshisekedi as the president, and it was the deal between him between and the former president. It's unbelievable because right now the president Kabila right now is like the leader of the opposition, the heavy opposition to Tshisekedi. Corneille Nanga right now is in the forest, he is in the east. He is taking weapon against Tshisekedi and against the country. And it seems like there is something, and this is the point of view of people here, that there is something in their political lead which were not uh, uh, respected by some of actors, and which makes them to be more heavy and more strong against the regime of Felix Tshisekedi, including including to support the Rwanda in its activities of supporting the M23 and taking control of the strategic area in the east of DRC.
Yeah, that you know the whole thing, the whole affair. It seems to me like an affair among not only the Congolese elite, right, but the regional elites. The Kagames and the Musevenis and others, and also the international elites, the Macrons and other. I remember when uh, Macron went to Congo. I think he was in Congo, and he
Yes,
was,
you was in
and he made a comment. I don't know if you recall that he was being criticized by President Tshisekedi, right? He in France, and Macron
Mm,
made a sort of like a shot back. about an African deal that was made to get you in power in the first place, right? So
It was the it was his minister of foreign affairs, which was
not Macron
signed
himself, but the
signed the
Minister of
deal.
Foreign Affairs.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Uh, Les Briand,
Hmm.
who say that that political deal. But there is also a kind of club which were did by by Macron in when he were here in Kinshasa. He said that the government, the Congo failed to create a name to protect his territory, and they could not expect someone else to come and to solve those problems on his place, and that authorities should be more responsible about what they are doing, and this was really crazy, really crazy, and really unbelievable from the president of France, and it's
Hmm.
a good change, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the point is that you have these elites, whether it's the local elites in Kinshasa, the regional elites in Kampala and Kigali, or the international elites, that they're engaged in a form of gangsterism that results in tremendous amount of loss of life of the Congolese people. It's like the people are trapped, uh, really, in the deals that these elites make, right? And we see that, as I shared with you, that you can count the number of Congolese politicians and high level officials that are in Washington, the lobbying firms that have been hired by different parts of the Congolese government, and even some of the politicians themselves, making trying to make deals. And you really have to ask a very common sense question. If you're a Congolese politician and you say you're acting in the interest of the Congolese people, do you go to Washington to act in the interest of the Congolese people? Or do you go to where they are? Go to Congo Profond and talk to the people and engage the people and organize the people around their interests and let them know I'm going to represent your interests, right?
Mm.
So whether you're talking about those in power or those in the opposition, they're all coming to Washington, and it's hard to see them coming to Washington, making deals in Washington that's going to redound to the benefit of the masses of Congolese. 70 million of the 110 million Congolese who are living on $2.15 or less a day. Uh, is a deal in Washington going to deliver the masses of Congolese from poverty, extreme poverty? So there's just whether it's the elite in Kinshasa that uh, is beholden to foreign interests, or the elites in Kigali or Kampala that's backed by those very same foreign interests, right? So either way, not appears, either way, it's the Congolese people who are getting the short end of the stick with this collusion between local elites on the African continent and the global elites. And we see it playing out, in real time in front of us right now. As I said, with a number of Congolese politicians and figures in Washington, the lobbying firms lobby, that they've hired, uh, President Trump's special envoy going to Kinshasa, should be in Kinshasa tomorrow. Has there been much talk about the special envoy and the deputy assistant secretary who are on their way to Kinshasa to meet with President Tshisekedi and then I guess to go to Kigali and meet with Paul Kagame as well? What are folks saying? Do folks know that that they're coming? And if they do know, what are they saying?
No, here, really publicly, people don't know about this, about that they are coming. But in Congo, there is information which is in everyone month is the American deal. The Congo, we are saying it, the American deal. It means that the President Sekedi said that the United States of America could help the Congo to this war, and in exchange to have some reserve of mineral. And
Hmm.
people are saying this is somehow crazy, and this could be this can create another war, because you have to know that China is controlling around more than 70% of the Congolese mine officially, and non-officially. It means they are controlling some big mines like Kamoto. They are controlling also some
Thank you for
mine
Burundi
which
is
are
probably the
illegal.
biggest.
Yes, it mean yes, under control of diggers, or under control of some rebel group, and so China invests a lot of money in to take part of these mineral resources, and will not see the US coming, to that place, because only of the war, and this can amplify more the conflict than it can resolve it. Also, another issue is communism. I think. Um, what will be really the solution United States will give with a president like Trump, who his politics, his policies, and his strategy are not really interested. He is not really interested on Africa matters.
Hmm.
He's not really engaged on Africa things, like he's engaged Ukraine, for example, or
Hmm.
like he's engaged in Israel, to support Israel against of Palestine, and so for Congolese people, it's very, very, very complicated to know what is going on every day, because
Hmm.
there are also other local news which are occupying media, like the prime minister killed a policeman.
Right.
The team guard of the prime minister killed uh, a police. A police traffic here in Kinshasa. So it means people are really seeing what will be the solution, but it's a kind of loss of hope for so many to see that the US can support the Congo, and also another others' opinion is like as you said, Rwanda and Uganda, neighborhood country generally, East neighborhood country generally are involved in the conflict, because also they have some market and they have some support, and that support comes from Western country and leading
Right.
by the US, and you can't ask to an actor of something to stop doing what he do, to make sure to make sure that things will be okay. And it's him who installed such system because there are a speech which President Kagame said few days ago, few weeks ago.
Mhm.
He said last year that if they can focus on Rwanda, why they are not focused on where those minerals are going? Because for him, he accepted that that time. Because for him, minerals from Congo are only in transit in Rwanda. So why? Are you focused to a place where it transit it mean for it mean US, UK, Germany, France, and others country. You're saying that hey guys, me I'm only an actor, but there are a director of this film, and director are not in the African continent. They are in US, and they are they are.
Yeah, I mean, Kagame is willing to be at service to these folks. It's he says some things that are just so bizarre to me, but that is in line with a question that came in on Instagram. Apparently, in the U.S., there've been boycotts of Tesla, and the questioner was asking was whether that has any effects on the inhuman practices at all, child mining in the Congo. But I guess the short answer is no. And we're going to deal. We're going to have a special program looking at boycotts and the question of minerals in the Congo that's coming. So please stay tuned as we delve into the that as a tactic, whether or not it's effective tactic or not. We'll be discussing that at some point soon. There's a question about Tesla. Uh, you see the Congolese government trying to offer a minerals for security deal to the U.S. government, and you have varying proposals coming from different parts of the political establishment in the Congo. Uh, Interesting enough, while this is happening, we see that I don't know if you had a chance to visit Monono, uh, Akili Mali, where the
I have
lithium.
I was in Manono. I was in Manono for a research. Yes, I have been. I have been in Manono.
Yeah, so Monono is one of the recent uh, discovery of lithium that's there. Lithium deposits. They say it's one of the largest in the world, and it's been in dispute. I think you may have reported on it, but as we see the increased interest around or the different range of players that are involved in pursuing minerals in the Congo, we see that a company that Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and Michael Bloomberg, the billionaire class, is invest a mining company called Cobalt. They're vying to get access to secure concessions in Monono. So we see just a range of players who just really from all over. At the same time, the Congolese government is trying to sell or offer to U.S. companies Shemaf, the concessions that are owned by Shemaf. Shemaf, I don't know if they used to be an Indian-owned company at one point. I don't know if they still are.
it's
Um,
it's an Indian. Yes, it's an Indian company,
yeah. So you know,
but with
there's
a
just
US
so.
pound.
Go ahead, Akili Mali.
I have said that Shemaf it's an Indian company, but with US investors.
Yeah, and there's just the whole mineral sector that there's so much going on every day around it, and what you're sharing with us is that for the most part the Congolese people are not really up to speed on the deals that are being discussed, uh, possibilities that are being explored that will have a direct impact uh, on their lives. You know?
Exactly, exactly. So people here, um, people has so many problems like electricity, like water, like and um, a lot of challenges like traffic jam, for example,
Mm,
in Kinshasa, uh, like the lack of security in Lubumbashi, like the lack of water in Mujimai, like the lack of electricity in Kisangani. Now we have 3 years. Kisangani is in big problem of electricity, and they are always promised that the government will solve that problem, and again and again, and it's not solved until now. So people are really concentrate their energy to solve their own problem, and to not be involved on those political issue, because
mm.
also it's make for someone who is really thinking about what is going on. You can be crazy if you are not resilient,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you'll see how the government is wasting resources on doing things which will not change the situation on the ground, and it's not giving the result, the solution to problems population has. So even they are developing a kind of resilience, which is to not be more focused on those political deal and those political issues to save themselves mentally. This is
Right, right.
the point.
The unfortunate thing is, though, Kilimali, those deals that are made, they have an impact on whether or not people can can get access to can eat, can have food on the table, or can send their children to school, or as you said, get electricity and clean water, right? Those deals don't deliver that to the to the people. And that's the unfortunate outcome that we've seen, right? The millions of dollars that Congolese politicians are spending here in Washington to hire lobbyists. That's not going to redound to the benefit of Congolese, average Congolese. That's not going to result in you know uh, consistent electricity in Kinshasa or access to water elsewhere in the country, or even as the president may be trying to do, getting results in getting territory back. That Rwanda has captured. So it's just incredibly challenging, and the people are put in a position where, as you said, they have to be concerned. Their primary concern is daily survival, right? I think in Kinshasa they say, "Well, je me débrouille," right? I you know,
Exactly.
Article 15. I do what I can to make it. So it's just incredibly challenging. And you're reporting now from there, Akili Mali. Now, Quito, let people know where they can keep up. Uh, yeah. Before I get that, there's a question that came in about Mario Nawfal. He's social media personality, very popular on X, and he recently went to. I don't know if you've seen it, Akili Mali. He went to interview Paul Kagame. He went to Kigali to interview
Mhm.
Paul Kagame about what's happening. You know, I guess in the Congo, and he's tied into. Uh, he's connected to some extent to Elon Musk, who is the owner of X, and uh, Maria Nawfal had tweeted something that Elon Musk retweeted. It was an interview with Kagame, and uh, a colleague journalist of ours was challenging them. A fellow journalist, I think you know Ann Garrison. She's interviewed you before,
Yes.
Kilimali.
Mhm.
She had challenged Mario uh, Nawfal about his. She was basically saying that he was serving as a mouthpiece and propaganda arm for Paul Kagame. And Mario Nawfal's folks reached out to Anne and said, "Well, you can give us a response. You can give a response to Mario Nawfal's interview with Kagame," and she did that, but they didn't publish it. So, because she challenged them on like I saw one of the posts he made, where he didn't. I don't even think he questioned Kagame about Rwandan soldiers being in the Congo. Now, mind you, right? You have Mario Nawfal. There's other social media folks who are popular on X who have gone on to be gone into Goma and what have you uh, to really inject doubt and confusion into the matter, right? But make no mistake about it, right? You have, and you've been following Akili Mali from the outside, where the UN Security Council, right, in a unanimous vote, 15-0, right, said that one of the in resolution 2773, I encourage people to just do a research, and resolution 2773 came out maybe about a month or so ago, where the UN Security Council says Rwanda must withdraw its soldiers from the Congo immediately, right? Immediately. That's what they said. Rwanda, this is the UN Security Council, unanimous, 15-0. France, US, China, Russia, major powers, all voting saying Rwanda must withdraw its soldiers immediately from the Congo, right? This is resolution 2773. The G7, they met in Canada a few weeks ago, said the same thing, right? So you have the world leaders, the main international world body saying unequivocally that Rwanda should withdraw its soldiers. So where do you go from there? How do you have another discussion where you don't even mention Rwanda's soldiers? How do you even do that, right? You have the
It's gonna
entire
be
world represented by the UN saying Rwanda's soldiers should get out of the Congo. Then, as a reporter, right? Even as just a normal person, the follow up to that is like, how are they going to make him get out? Is Rwanda going to respond to the UN Security Council and remove its soldiers? If not, what is the UN going to do? Are they going to sanction Rwanda? Are they going to force Rwanda to withdraw from peacekeeping? Uh, the UN peacekeeping forces in Africa. Rwanda is the largest contributor to the UN in terms of peacekeepers on the African continent, right? Or one of the largest, if not the largest. Even as they were doing that, back in the Biden administration, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken called up Rwanda and, telling Rwanda, you need to stop firing surface to air missiles at the UN peacekeepers in the Congo, right? The Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, says the M23 are better armed than the UN peacekeepers. How does that happen? The M23 is Rwanda, Rwandan soldiers. You know what I'm saying? So when you have folks like Mario Nawfal coming in, and that's not even part of the discussion. In fact, he made one post where it was what you've covered Benny. You've been in Benny, and they were talking about the Allied Democratic Forces had executed some folks in a church, and the way he presented the narrative, like Christians were executed in the Congo, right, by radical Islamists or whatever. So he presented a picture like uh, Christians were being persecuted in the Congo. Congo's like 95% Christian, right? So it's just like it creates like a parallel world uh, that have little to do with the reality. When you have the entire world that's saying a particular, making a particular demand, where Rwanda's soldiers are Rwanda is killing in the Congo. That's not a dispute. There's no dispute about that. They're killing fellow Africans in the Congo. That's why we say, to our African brothers and sisters, like, just on that principle alone, you ought to be calling into question Kagame and the Rwandan government. Like, Rwanda is killing Africans in the Congo. And they didn't just start doing that in January. Like, there's been like 30 years of killing, right? In fact, if you were to take, Akili Mali, the number of people Congolese who have perished, right? And you combine that with the number of people who are currently displaced, that's virtually the entire population of Rwanda, right? So you're going to tell us that if you're going to buy into Kagame's argument to defend the security of Rwanda, protect minorities in the Congo, that you're going to kill and displace the entire population of the country of Rwanda to achieve that end? So it's just insane, and that's part of the problem, where you have this narrative that uh, justifies or attempts to justify uh, Rwanda's military presence in the Congo, or at the very least, injects confusion into the discourse. When the UN Security Council is not confused, when they vote unanimously, 15-0, that Rwandan soldiers must get out of Congo immediately, right? So, in any case, sorry, I just like when Soldier K had asked the question around Nawfalls, and that's been part of the problem with Rwanda and their actions in the Congo. There've been folks in the West who are quick to run in and defend Paul Kagame. That's why even with this trip that we see of the president's envoy, Masad Boulos, he's going to be accompanied by Corina Sanders. She's the deputy Secretary of State for Africa. If you look at her engagement, it seems like she's been very, how can I say, empathetic to the Rwandan cause, in the face of the havoc that the Rwanda is, wreaking in the Congo. So that's worth watching to see how that that all unfolds. Akili Mali, you're publishing regularly. I'm gonna have Keto put our blog. People can find your work on our blog at the Friends of the Congo blog. Uh, on a consistent basis, and Quito will share it. Um, but you're back in full force, and you're on the beat, so to speak, covering what's happening. As we come to the end, uh, share with folks what we ought to be looking out for. Maybe with this visit by the special envoy, President Trump's envoy. Uh, where things are heading. Is Chesekedi, is he going to survive? Is he going to be able to form a national union to protect his position? Is the Rwandans and the M23 going to make further advances? We've seen, more and more political figures in uh, people from the political class in the Congo saying that they're siding with the M23, with Kazadi and Giongo and others. What should we expect? Uh, in the coming days and weeks, and then we can wrap it from there.
I think we will see how things will be going on, but I think there is no change on the ground. We'll see on the front line, first of all,
Hmm.
if the M23 will go until Kisangani, as they are saying, and
Hmm.
if they will take the city of Kisangani, which is an important city. I think what we'll see diplomatically, it will be only the same narrative. It means there is a former minister of defense of South Africa who said that the South African troops at that time were babysitting Congo. It means
Mm.
the international community is babysitting Congo. It means they are not really involved on what is going on, but
Mm.
they are only saying, guys, we are invited the Congo. We are talking to. Um, they will do some PR, some communication to say, hey, 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 stop, but on the ground it will be very difficult, and those negotiations will be also very difficult to be operated because you have actors on the ground. You have the African Union put 5 negotiators. Can you imagine 5 negotiators, 5 former president
Oh, right, former
uh,
former president. Yeah, yeah.
negotiators, 5 negotiators, and they it means it's a big confusion, a big cacophony, a big cacophony with this problem. And you have also an initiative from Qatar, which is going on because they received in Doha a delegation of the M23, led by Bertrand Bisimwa himself, and the Congolese delegation also is there, not officially, but there are some sources which are saying that the Congolese delegation also is there, and the Rwanda delegation is also still there. I think it will depend on who will really going to control others area, and others important town if the M23 will continue is with Rwanda until coming here to Kinshasa, or if they will create a new state there
Mm.
and divide the Congo. But it seems like right now, the internationally, the issue of Congo is like a Django. It means everyone can do what you want, and Rwanda know it, and it's using it only to take more power, take more territory, to take more things we'll see how things will really going on, and about that American deal of minerals to security. We'll see how things will going on, but for sure, as I am here until now safe. I hope.
Yes, we're
Uh,
so pleased
yeah,
that you are safe, and I
uh,
definitely want to. Yes, yes.
yes,
Thank you,
I will
Kilmani.
be.
Okay. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yes, I will be sharing to the blog, also to others platforms, some verified update, and to tell to people to what is going on here in the US, what is going on the ground, and what is going on in the country globally.
Thank you, Kilumali. We really appreciate it, and it's great to have your voice and your view coming from the ground, and want to join you in thanking the people who have been supporting our campaigns that enable us to support you and so many others in return. So we encourage people to continue doing that, supporting the campaigns, and Akili Mali is real life testimony as to how valuable that support is, for which we're truly grateful. So thank you, Kilimali. They can catch you on Twitter, on X as well, and Instagram. But definitely hit us regular to see the posts that he's made, reports that he's made since he's been out of Goma on our blog. And I really appreciate you taking the time to join us today, Kilimali. And we'll be back with you soon. All right. Okay. Y'all be well. Thank
Yes,
you.
yeah.
Free
Thank
Congo.
you so
Go to
much.
freecongo.org. Freecongo.org. Get involved. Be informed. Take action. Join the movement. Freecongo.org. All right. Thanks, Akili Mali.
Thanks to peace,
Peace.
peace.
Thank you, Kito. Peace. Peace.